Welcome to tonight's episode of Critical Role, where a bunch of us nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons & Dragons.
We play Dungeons and Dragons.
Whoa.
We play Dungeons and Dragons.
Wow.
That was different.
I just let it come.
All right. So, is the next couple announcements? What? I hate you all.
Matt, please describe how you would like to kill yourself.
Today, what I'm thankful for is that we got to see you do all the really cool stuff with
7.
plants.
They have buttholes.
How else can they play the tuba?
True.
Methuselah, bring your violin and your butthole.
Slam poetry right now. Just what's anything that comes to your mind. It's really super.
Pink. I sometimes think. I need to think. I want to get out of the store right now.
And get a drink. I'll make you make a scratch.
Keep at it.
So just the paper,
Yeah.
I suppose.
My mother has never made craft cheese.
Fairies is one thing, but a protruding growth on the head of a horse, that's just madness.
Ford would suck things into his body, you know? He's being sucked into worms' bodies. And God feels like everything came full circle, and then I just collapse again and pass out.
That's a bingo.
Do you need me to come? It's just bingo, Caleb.
That's a bingo.
That's a pretty big matzo ball.
That's a pretty big matzo ball. That is a pretty big matzo ball.
Unfortunately, their spectral forms do lack definitive genitals, but your imagination helps you imagine that, sure, maybe half of them are pitching a tent. Done.
I'm doing.
Is he invisible?
No, but one of the guards is looking at you, flail in the air, and is like,
The ruby of the sea.
Just as your namesake suggests, you Lorna in my loins. Oh.
Right, through it.
Okay.
Same time. 1, 2, 3.
Maximum tits.
Maximum tits.
Alley.
Oh, it's maximum tits alley.
As Honda, I would race to the apricot and seize it so that she can't pick that fruit. Keep it for ourselves in our fruit basket.
Yeah.
And make off and decide if we're going to make marmalade later or not.
You should get ready for a long labor. This one could take up to 36 hours.
It is done. The mortal world has received its divine chariot.
What? That's medically impossible. You didn't even push.
Does one need push for the summer to shine down its radiance upon us?
Mother, I bring news from the womb.
Eyes so blue and hair so shorn on the sides.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Okay, eyes so blue, hair shorn.
Abs. So many.
Her abs, there's so many of them.
So many.
So many abs.
But frame so small.
If something goes wrong, just nudity, it usually works.
I killed my family, I'll throw you under a bridge. I'm learning how to people.
Because we were in like the middle of this like heated makeout, so as I'm like kind of straddling her, I'm like, sorry babe, gotta handle these ninjas.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
His eyes kind of narrow at you. I was the only survivor to the escaping singular minds. I have seen many friends fall and disappear. But I have made my way. What's the craziest thing you have seen?
Ever in my life?
Sure.
Oh shit, I've seen some crazy shit. This one time, I saw a bug carrying a piece of bread that was like 5 times its size. And he was carrying it upstairs, like up, and then he would turn, and then it would go up, and then he would turn.
Will wonders ever cease?
What a good wife you can be!
Maybe those trees also lost their tree memories, and now they're thinking about trees that they fucked 25 years ago.
How long have you lived down here?
11 days!
11 days?
How long do kobolds live? 11 days!
We're about to cross the area of the Button graveyard that lies beneath the waves.
Can you hear yourself right now? You sound pathetic! Pathetic!
I'm just looking out for you, not. I don't want you to.
Understand when I'm being condescended to, even when I'm drunk!
All right, let's treat this situation with the seriousness it demands, and I douse the lights and bring Frumpkin down onto my own head like a mask.
Oh, I guess I can remove my penis party favors from my inventory.
This cave to hide. Oh, they're heading
Shut up. Think about this.
I am the only one doing that.
She throws it. I fire. It explodes. No structural damage. Only damage to the creature. That's how I see it going down.
What's your favorite color?
Oh, I don't have one.
Oh, that's weird.
Tune in and watch me master debate Liam O'Brien in front of your own eyes. And I will master debate Liam O'Brien as long as it takes until he comes. Sam Riegel, you're adorable, you're quick-witted, you're clever, you're good in bed, but this is the adults table. Roll the motherfucking clip.
A message from Liam O'Brien.
For too long has our great game been sliding into a lugubrious den of iniquity, malfeasance, and ineptitude.
My.
All right, I'll go behind the penis.
What?
Hello, my name is Jester Lavore. I'm here to pick up a package.
All right, I'll go check for it for you.
Thank you. Yes,
What's up? Can I help you?
thank you.
That's.
Oh, all right. Is there anything else you need?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, what can I help you with? I didn't get that.
No.
Okay, look for the package.
Of course, the VOD will be immediately up for Twitch.
Are you gonna take the rest off?
Babies have a low tolerance to drugs.
We are going for help, medical help. We all have syphilis. Extreme syphilis.
Make a deception
Stand
check.
up and go next to Caleb and say, "Honey, did you tell them about our disease?"
Oh, it's so much worse.
Gravity was first discovered by a Jorhasian wizard known as Isaac Newton.
You need a critical role for hard-hitting turtle violence.
The orphan maker has arrived.
Oh dear.
Where can we find you?
Oh dear.
Do 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 do.
I'm gonna find that dick.
I love every scent that comes from you. Moo, moo,
Kiss,
moo,
kiss
moo,
him.
moo.
I pick up this skull. Oh. So many secrets, huh, Yorick? Maybe you should tear it off your chest. I don't think that's a good idea. It's driving you crazy.
We're running. It's bad.
What is the jewel made of? Have you been able to identify it? The garnet in the middle.
It is garnet.
Oh.
Half cocked, I like that.
I could use this.
Yeah.
You're a good guy.
Thanks.
No hands.
First mate, PTRL. Permission to reload.
Is that a real?
No, made it up. Chain of command. Chain of command.
Really, real words here.
It's boat talk. No, that's criminal. It's boat talk.
Was I eating cheese?
Apparently.
My perception is so low.
I'm of childbearing age. So I'm about somewhere
Somewhere between like 6 and 9.
Okay.
Giant falcon lands.
Please, don't worry. It's a cat, usually.
Stew? Was it stew? I don't know why I had to say that 3 times.
There! I threw our engagement ring and our life, and I fed it to the rabies dolphins.
The mighty 7.
And 9. We lost 2 in the sewers.
I mean, Caleb has killed his own family members. He could do anything.
I mean, Caleb killed his whole family.
It's a figure of speech where I'm from. it's like.
What does the figure of speech mean?
Yeah.
Like, how would you use it in a sentence?
Do you have that money I owe you? Oh, no, I don't have it yet. I killed my whole family. I'll have it for you next week. Yeah, it's the equivalent to like, snap.
You pooping?
The evening mistress kind of leans down at your ear and goes, "Don't worry, lad. I can see you're nervous, but just let the throat open and take it in." Leans back.
What am I doing?
And
This is possibly my father, you guys. I have to sound cool.
yeah, you do.
Hi, Dad.
Oh my god! Right out the fucking gate! Wow! Chill! Oh shit!
So, looks like we may be coming back to the area you're in.
You know the nighttime is the best time to go frog gigging.
They are very, very well kept soft feet.
I think you're kind of an asshole, but so are we. We are the Mighty 9. And we will fuck you so hard if you fuck with us.
What? You mean like...
Look, I just like dicks, okay?
I was asking what it was like when you kissed someone, that's all.
Because you haven't done it.
Well, I didn't know if it counted.
Oh, well, what was the situation?
I was drowning.
Oh, you mean today? How did it make you feel?
Like I wasn't dead.
Yeah, alive. Yeah, that is the feeling.
Yeah.
And did it make your heart beat faster than being completely stopped how it was?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's not dead.
But who kicks a fucking cat?
Yeah, what
Exactly.
That's
Who
a
kicks a
dick.
fucking cat? Exactly is my point. You can do a lot of things and have a very bad day, but who kicks a cat?
Did you get a
It's an
name or
asshole.
a face? I mean, are we going
He had such a face, I will never forget this face. You might as well be at home picking the wings off flies. You kick a cat. What is wrong with
Wait
you?
a minute, is it bad to pick wings off flies?
Yes! And then at the end of the week, they all beat their dicks.
You know what my mom used to always tell me?
No.
If you ask, the worst they can do is say no and throw you in an imperial prison and you'll never see your family again. That's the worst that could happen.
We've seen you with food on your penis.
It is getting very kinky in that room.
I'm gonna go into the water for some fucking buttons.
I heard tell there was a button ship that crashed right around these
the
waters.
old button ship legend, really?
A button wharf.
Oh, Buttonbeard, the pirate?
Yep.
He had buttons for beards.
There might be bronzed shoes, maybe little silver cups.
Ooh, those spoons?
The decoder
The
rings.
little spoons?
Yep.
The collectible
Maybe
ones?
sporks if you're lucky.
Not this guy. I hear in Jorhas they have a captain there who has lots of eyeballs that you can ingest into your body.
Really?
Yes.
Lots of eyeballs?
Lots of golden eyeballs that you can just put in your belly.
Sounds like a magic place.
Yes.
This fucker. A smacker. You don't need this.
What?
You're all the woman you need to be.
You're so tall, but your slaps are so ineffectual. It's like you rubber wrists or something. It did almost nothing to me. Nothing at all.
If you make a comment about my strength, I might throw you in the lava.
You couldn't, but...
Nott doesn't seem to care about me, but I care about her. It's okay.
I care about you, Ford.
Tell me again.
He's a little embarrassed. His penis gets a little limp whenever a few drinks.
It's not at all.
It's nothing personal.
She doesn't know me like that. It's not real.
I like to swallow sore.
No, I never said that. That's not what I don't. say that ever.
I'm a fan of simple soups.
Oh my gosh, did you see us when we were changing clothes? Were you watching us when we were naked?
That's not at all the way love is described in the books that we read.
You mean the porn books that we read? Those?
Well, are they like porn though, or are they just like the way relationships are for real though?
Oh boy.
Yeah, so you're
Hairy
enthralled.
arms wrapped around his waist. She can feel her breath leaving her bodice as she reached down.
Man, I hate to interrupt.
Well. Oh,
It's okay, we don't have to talk about it tonight, so I know everything already. It doesn't matter, and I turn over and go.
I like BO. It's great.
You're very nice and a little stinky.
One of those things is true, and you are blue.
Why are you offering up all of my awesome pets?
It's my husband! He's lonely! Give him your weasel!
At least we know there are feet under there and a full adult-sized body, not a tiny baby.
Sort of like the woman yelling at the cat meme, you know, except it's me. And it's not a cat, it's a sex monster.
If you can't eat the body anymore, then it's not a person.
You can eat anything if you are determined enough.
You cursed at my funeral?
I didn't have a funeral for you.
I didn't even get a funeral, everybody else did!
I didn't know if you were actually gone.
Everyone got a funeral but me!
No, none of you did.
Oh my god, you didn't give any of us funerals!
Help, it's again.
I can throw in a tiny statue of Dick.
The shells have been devoured.
The bells have been deflowered.
The bells are in my power!
The veils are covered in flour.
Didn't I bathe you one time?
Yes.
Oh my god.
You scratched me though.
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever team you're on, I'm not sure I play for that one.
Yeah.
Boil some
Yeah.
horse to make some glue. I don't know how people made glue.
Jester, may the mother keep you.
And may she always give you plenty of milk.
But you can use urine of a dog for a jellyfish bite.
Wait,
Yeah,
they
it's-
bite?
They have
Little
teeth.
Holy shit.
It's a whole jaw system that's underneath.
Do you think you're slowly turning into water? If you feel like it's happening, let us know and we'll try to catch you in a jar.
You see people that you've liked in the past looking beautiful with tiny bodies. You see people that you've hated in the past getting stepped on by a poop monster.
Your eyes are like, they're normally like, you know, tea saucers, but now they're like full plates. Are you all right?
I would like to domesticate unicorns.
I mean, titties are just great, regardless.
Yeah,
For sure.
all shapes and sizes of
Yeah.
Yeah.
small ones, big ones, dangly ones.
You have no legal authority over me!
Donuts!
Kitty masseuses that can do a number on these shoulders.
Every kitty here is a licensed masseuse.
What does what mean? She has sex for money.
That is covered in bird shit and saliva and egg gunk.
A slop dolly of epic proportion. You should have shot fire. I bet you. Crap fire, slop dolly.
What?
Check the ground to make sure I didn't poop on myself.
Make an investigation check.
Natural 20.
Nice! You're confident that though you may have tooted a little,
Fucking ridiculous.
nothing left behind.
How do you smell?
I smell like a crayon.
Did you just put a hooker on layaway?
I think I did. I feel like I did. Did you just say I'd been with your mom?
I know, I said, as soon as I said it, it was like really creepy.
That's fucked up.
It's no plant fucking, but you know, I do what I can.
Just because I'm curious, how would you say the words that are spelled ELDRIGEBLAST? How would you pronounce that? How would you say those words?
Eldritch Blade.
No.
Eldritch Blade.
No.
Eldritch Blast. Oh, that's hard to say.
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast!
Oh,
Eldritch Blast.
Oh, that's right. For other things. Good. Eldritch Blast.
Blast, no! Well, hell.
Eldritch Blast.
Oh, yeah!
You're gonna have a cheese dream because of that.
I just got a really good feeling about what you're about to do. Like a really good feeling. Like the kind of feeling that'll put a big smile on your face. You know, take you back home, make you feel like, you know, there's a big
I'm not
feast
interested
waiting
in a
for you.
relationship right now.
Well, this isn't working at all.
Let's take them all. I feel like I've never felt you and me. Let's take them.
Why are all you big men making these weird speeches to me?
You,
Fast as lightning.
super drunk sometimes.
All throughout the day, once an hour, Caleb says, "It's 2 o'clock.
Shut up.
It's 3 o'clock.
No.
Ding dong, ding dong.
No.
It's 4 o'clock.
It's not so bad if you're down in the water with your friends.
Oh, it's 9 o'clock.
Fuck you.
How many babies makes up for a murder?
Fucking nipples on a horse.
Yeah.
That is unfortunate.
I think what His Holiness is trying to convey is that he will be going on a spiritual journey, and there's only room on that train for one dude.
The problem with friends is that you have to care about them. And wander away.
Wow. Wow. Fucking cool, Caleb.
Caleb is really cool.
Yeah, he's cool. You're cool, Caleb. See, Jester thinks you're fucking cool.
Do you want to know more about my cat? Because you walked off before. But the funny thing about a cat is that they are very persnickety, but with the right person they are not. And Frumpkin with me, we are just so. Just so.
Genuine question. Have you been telling the story the entire time I've been gone?
No, that would be.
Has it
I'm a
been
very
nonstop?
intelligent person. That would be foolish. I don't talk to thin air. And also, some people say that they have 9 lives, which is
That's
funny
great.
because
You know
we-
what? I have something I think that you would be deeply interested in. Maybe.
Did you find books?
I didn't. Fucking goddamn.
A couple of minutes back, I started to build a snowman at Beauregard's feet. Big one, are you going to help me do this? This is what they do here, so.
I just kick it.
Oh, you're trying to scramble my Jumbotron? Yeah, good luck. It's password protected.
It's swordfish. It's always swordfish.
No! You're gleaming my cube!
I just have to take a piss, hold on. After I shake it and put it away, I move my fingers in a shape in the air.
At the moment.
I shake it and put it away.
Oh, I will take off my green slime pot, and I will take off my rock grub pot, and I'll lay down my scorpion stick and my skunk in a cage, and my wasp in a bag.
What's a cloister?
It's a place where you masturbate.
Another dream with semen scattered everywhere.
Launch at the ground.
The 3 steps back, so we'll pick it up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just meant 5 feet.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
What is going on?
So, after you had all ventured through this tunnel,
We're ready.
children,
Kids, huh? Ooh, they're always wandering off.
apparently,
Google Gaga.
Vote. She's the final dick. It's important.
I'm the final dick.
Don't throw yourself into the volcano, okay?
Oi! I'm thinking of removing my spine, because it's only holding me back.
I think I'm going to faint right now.
No, it's gone.
Your mustache.
Oh, just don't look. That's what the rest.
I love it when a woman I respect laughs at me for no reason.
Oh, what you looking for?
Well, we're.
kind of begins rocking in this wicker chair.
I'm fucking out.
We've been doing things creepy shit.
I swat him on the side of the face.
No, don't touch, don't touch.
I do it again. It's
No,
good.
no,
It's
don't
good
do
for
it,
you.
please.
It's good for you. Drink.
Dual turtle petting squad here in the middle of the snow.
Fuckable cantaloupe.
Ill-tempered bowling ball.
Telekinetic watermelon bear is not fucking around.
Like young Barbara Streisand on mushrooms, just wandering through Exentrim.
Systemic memorization.
Lovely weather we're having, huh?
What a shit.
Okay.
They put sun on their buttholes?
Well, they don't put it on, they just expose their buttholes to the sun. You can't put sun on your butthole.
That makes sense. But that's such a strange position to achieve.
Of course.
You've got to get your butthole as high as possible and then expose it.
She comes alone.
But then where are you?
But she comes more with another person.
Be reborn in the light of the traveler.
Yes.
The light of tonight's moon.
This the big moon above.
Moon above. Yes.
Tricky, tricky moon. This is such a disaster.
You're really attractive.
We'll keep working.
No, that still wasn't it?
No.
Fuck. Do you want that cocktail? Caduceus has been making something with turmeric. It's really weird. It's a very refreshing cocktail. Perfect for this nice fall breeze.
Sure.
Jesus Christ, look at that. See what fucking host.
Fucking crush on you, I can tell.
Don't let him tell you what to do.
I'm in a box.
Black moss cupcakes.
You're now dangling off the ground, about 3-4 feet off the ground.
Now, I only take this as a minor setback.
I'm disappointed in you, Mr. Ford.
That means literally nothing to me.
Was that crab creature within 10 feet of my ass?
Are you guys causing crimes and stuff? How's your hair?
Your eyes are like stagnant water. Green and green and yellow in places.
Do you have any business in Trostenwald while you're there?
Well, I'm going to go stand in front of a tree just for 20 seconds and do this.
I was the good cop.
I was the bad cop.
Yeah, and we got hard information from them, and then,
You're not leaving here without telling us the truth.
Yeah, and I was like, don't worry, she won't hurt you. I'll be really good.
I'm crazy.
Yeah, and then they just messed up to everything, and they were like, we're a fiend, and she was like, I'm a little girl.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's how it went.
She confessed to being a little girl.
There's a lot of things someone can do with a fraction of your blood.
A sea snake different from a sea snake?
It is.
Sleep well, my beautiful wizard.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm just saying, first she tortures my husband, and now she doesn't cover dinner. That's 2 strikes.
Like terrible fishing, like breath smell just cascades over your face, and you're like,
Oh, yeah, it's like a dock on a Tuesday morning.
yeah. One on the other end.
What happens on Monday nights?
She begins to whisper a silent prayer.
There's nothing that calms a nervous mother like an erratic man.
Is that what the song is about?
The Ruby of the Sea is the best play ever.
There's this elven woman named Gwyneth Paltrow.
We don't know how fast they can move.
That's a lot of assumptions.
We really should
They don't have legs.
try to go around, yeah?
Yeah, go around. Go.
Hearts don't have legs, and they're very fast.
That is really smart.
Haven't you ever noticed?
Yeah.
Ships are made of wood.
That's
They're very
great
fast.
discussion.
What else is fast?
The danger.
Squirrels are very fast.
They have legs.
Oh, that's fair.
We can still see your weenie. I can see it.
Marshmallows! Oh, don't!
I'm gonna start making my way.
It's been a while.
I'm going to mess up my junk. What fierce?
Are you flirting with the fucking Minotaur?
He's fucking hot. And 50-50, my husband's dead, so.
I believe that trapped within that gate is the beautiful Queen Nefertiti.
Yeah.
I think she should just go slamming her ass all up and down that hallway.
Oh.
It's me. Jester. Hey, I don't know if you're alone.
Oh, Jesus.
If you're not, and you're following us.
Oh no. Oh no. Great start.
Oh, I did it. If you're not here, you're following. Hey, you could heat up a bucket of tar as we walk into a prison. That wouldn't be suspicious at all.
We got distracted by his rock-hard pecs.
Thank you, Caleb!
It was
Okay. Hey, you dead person. Hey, I would like if you would come to life again a little bit and tell us some things that we want to know. Little.
Could I have a little bit?
When I went up to the last one, were there little bits of corn in it?
Jesus.
No.
Great.
No.
I don't think it's poop.
Well, it's an option.
Do you have a name?
I don't think so. You want to give me one?
Yeah.
Henry.
I'm Henry. Henry Crabgrass.
Henry Crabgrass. And I'll pet Henry.
Consent, please.
Oh, may I pet you?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excuse me, my good sir.
Yes, of course. What's your name?
Goth.
Goth?
Yeah.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Goth. Our name's Rhyme. That's silly.
That is a coincidence, yeah.
My hand is like my butt in many ways.
Oh man, that's gonna suck real bad to not have any hands at all.
If you get really excited, you should go. Meow, 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 meow.
I think I can punch ghosts now.
A lot of ghosts need punching. Yeah, thing would
Have
happen.
you ever met a ghost that doesn't need punching?
Is this a realization that you had?
Yeah, I've never even met a ghost. What, how would you punch it? Like,
If I saw a ghost, I would want to punch it. Ghosts are scary.
okay.
Yeah, just drinking and thinking.
Nice.
Go steal things when you can pay for them with money.
Caduceus?
Yes.
How was your time?
Yes. I've met a ghost that I didn't want to need to punch.
You have met a ghost you didn't want to punch.
Yeah, I thought it would. Oh, what?
Man, look at the seagulls. Just a pinnacle of beauty. They are.
Punish that slit.
Wisdom check.
No?
Ancient, powerful wizard in a stone, and we're asking him if he has a fuck doll.
My friend was a slave. Was enslaved by them. By the shepherds.
I'm a pretty good dancer.
Hello, bees. Hello, bees.
Can you breathe? Can you breathe underwater?
Let it go.
You are drowning. A second time.
Which direction are we pointed?
The one we're heading forward, which is the only way we could be heading.
Which is?
Towards our destiny.
This is seagull blood. This is not human blood.
You're a child, Marissa. A child.
His dad was really bad to you, so I was just trying to make him suffer.
All right, dolphin lady, ride me.
I must commend you on your perceptiveness. My balls are quite large.
He reaches down and grabs a big handful of dirt too and squishes it in his fingers.
It's fun.
Yeah.
You are very drunk.
It's very observant.
Am I also very drunk?
Can you feel this? Slap. Did you feel that?
Oh, the
My hands have been
nine is the mighty
stinging out.
nine. The mighty nine is the mighty nine, the mightiest nine that ever nine.
I like that song.
Nine mighties, mighties, nine.
All right, let's hear it.
Spiritual weapon.
Nothing happens for a reason. It's absolute fucking chaos.
This guy.
Bye, bye. Good to see you. Bye, Primot. Bye. Bye, Primot. Bye. 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 Good seeing you. Good seeing you, too. Good to see you. Yeah, it's good to see you, isn't it? Yeah, you're telling me. All right, well, have a good day.
You too. Yeah, you too, also.
Oh.
Ready, break. Oh.